Everyone, welcome to another edition of Independent Artists Unite. And I have to say, this is such a special night. I have like a deep reverence for this artist. I'm so happy that Lynette from Bestial is here. Thank you,
Hello.
Lynette.
No, thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for doing this.
Oh yeah, I'm honored to do it. And
Oh,
it's good
well,
to know that wants to know more about my art.
yeah, I mean, that's why I started this, because it's like people, the less commercial independent artists, I think, rarely get a chance to really do an in-depth dive into a song. It's like, of course, Taylor Swift gets to do that all the time if she wants to. But I've been following you for, I guess, like maybe 3 or 4 years. And I think it was probably hashtag goth that took me to one of your videos, all these kind of hashtags that are rarely a definitive category, but I was happy that it brought me to you because your videos, I just, you know, you're just so creative, and all aspects of your music, your visual identity. I mean, the album covers, the videos are so creative and artfully and impactful. Right from the start, I was like, first a little bit scared. I'm like, oh. And I
I've heard
think,
that before, actually. I was just talking to a friend. I was like, they didn't write me back. And he's like, I'm like, did I scare them? He's like, well, to be honest, you scared me at first till I met you.
well, it reminds me of a little bit of, well, I know you've gotten this comparison before, but I saw Diamanda Galas at Joe's Pub with just a piano in New York City. And it was like, that kind of intensity,
Yeah.
and it's like, yeah, even though you're both thin, you're both have this long black hair, but it really is like the intensity and the integrity and the way you both throw yourselves into a performance, like you're just totally there. It reminds me a little bit of another friend of mine, Kembra Fowler. I don't know if you're familiar with her, Voluptuous Horror of Karen Black.
I'm not, but I will have to look that
Oh,
up for
check it
sure.
out. I'll
Yeah.
send you some links. Yeah, because she from the very start was performing completely nude but covered in blue paint,
Oh,
and
wow.
she does all of these, and her backup singers are like nude but covered in yellow, covered in red, and it's a whole thing too about kind of using the body, as like almost like a fuck you to beauty standards and that kind of culture of beauty that we have, and being
Oh,
like, this is my body, I use it as a work of art, go fuck
oh,
yourself. I just love that.
that's exactly that statement in itself means a lot to me because I realize like I have an art background and so aesthetics and all of that plays into everything. But for a while when we first started, this type of music wasn't so known. So we did a
Mm.
lot of noise shows and other, metal shows and things like that. And being a girl or female, like automatically they would judge you. They would say things, people be like, oh, Lady Gaga, all this kind of stuff to
Mm.
be negative towards me and have comments like you should be like this and this. And so then we used to kind of play me down, kind of hide me. Then after a while, I was like, wait, no, screw all of you. You're making me feel bad for being who I am. I'm
Mm.
going to do what I want to do. And it's not, I'm not going to let play into that. And I am going to make videos. I am going to use my body as a vessel to create art, to connect to people and not feel guilty about it for being a girl. And that's what I want to give to other females or to everyone out there.
Yeah, yeah, well, I imagine as soon as you step on stage and open your mouth, they shut up real quick. that,
I
that
have
that's
done that.
that's
Oh,
what I love, because it's like, yeah, you immediately, you have to just shut up and watch what's going on, when you're performing. It is truly amazing. um can you talk a little bit more about your art background, because I read that you were you actually started off in New York City in as a designer, right? Or as a
Yeah,
stylist?
exactly.
Or, okay.
Exactly. I went to Savannah College of Art and Design, and I have a fashion design degree.
Okay.
So, which also gave me a wide background. I have a minor in arts history. So, yeah, I started off in New York as a fashion designer. I was actually working for this company that designed men's shirts, and I was actually designing Massimo shirts when Massimo first came to Target, which is funny. And then I broke off on my own and just kind of did it for a while. And I kind of just got disenfranchised with the whole world of it,
Yeah.
just the backstabbing, just how frivolous people and take it so seriously and cut everyone down. And I thought I wanted to give something more to the world, but I tried everything. I've done costume design, I've done visual, stylist, all of that. Then I went into animal rescue. I was working with that for a while, and I was like, I'm just going to dedicate my life to this. Then
Mm.
I realized I am definitely allergic to animals, and I was very, very sick. And then I'd always, followed music, been in love with music, gone to shows, all that kind of stuff, but had never done it myself. And then my partner at the time, who later was my husband, and we started the band. He was into music, and he was like, "Hey, you want to help me with this show?" Blah blah, and that's kind of how it started.
And what years were you in New York when you were studying fashion design and stuff?
Oh, that's when I was young. So I don't remember the exact years,
Oh, okay.
but it was during 9/11, which is the only
Okay.
reason I say that preface because
Yeah.
9/11 was yesterday and a series
Yeah.
was on, and I went through my memories of it and how I actually should have been in the World Trade Center at that moment, but I missed my first train.
Wow. That's crazy because I should have been going right under the World Trade Center right when it happened. I was in Brooklyn, but I had a dentist appointment
Oh,
and I was
wow.
like, I just didn't I just didn't want to go to the dentist and I blew it off and it would have been pretty close. My train, the two train, that goes right underneath the Twin Towers. Yeah.
It's so easy.
Yeah, that's why I asked because I was in New York for 22 years before now I live in Denmark. I've been here for about 15 years, but I was in New York from I guess 1989 to 2000 to 2009. Yeah.
Yeah, after 9/11, I left for a while. I went to Portland, Oregon, and then I actually went back to New York for a little bit, and then I left again.
And so talk about like before we get into the song, I just want to talk about how Bestial Mouse has evolved because um, I know you kind of along the way you've kind of taken more creative control is how I can observe it.
Yeah, that's exactly correct. When the project first started, like I said, it was now my ex husband, but we had started it together, and he has a musical background, does everything. So it was a slow process of me kind of learning and finding my way. And
Mm.
I'll remember the moment when he was like, because I used to play like one note bass lines, synth
Yeah.
lines, and I'm just not very good at that till the moment he was like, "You're gonna go forward. You're in the front." And I was a ballerina for years, for like 10 years when I was younger. So
Okay.
I assume that has a lot of aspect of the performance part into it for me.
Mm.
But then when we split and we separated, he was like, you take the project. It's, your love. It's who you are. It's your art. And I don't want to see it, die. This is something very special. So that's how I kind of
Wow.
started getting more of the control of it. And yeah, it kind of went from there, which was scary, but also exciting, but also scared.
And because, well, I've also noticed like on the earlier stuff, it was kind of like even more kind of aggressive,
Mhm.
and now you still have the songs still have moments like that, but you also drop into like really beautiful melodies and really like rich textures um and I find that like really effective, especially in this song that we're going to talk about,
Thank
Wrote a
you.
Thousand Tears.
Yeah, like I said, Bestial Mouse is just, it's me, it's my art, it's my journey, it's my story. So in the very beginning, when we were starting out, yeah, I was younger, but I also felt like I had a very message to say. I had more, not necessarily anger, but it was also my catharsis. It was kind of to
Mm,
bring it out. And it's just my transgression in life too, and also what we were listening to. And at this point in my life, I feel like I've done that. I've gotten out of that, but there's still, of course, moments in that. But there was also an essence of, I guess, as you age and as you see things, an element of beauty and also wanting to
mm,
connect more with people. I think a lot after COVID too, I realized how important and the most important thing in life is humans and
yeah,
connection.
yeah.
So I think that is also showing in some of my work too. And also having something that I may want to really just sit down and listen to. It doesn't always have to be, super like experimental or this and that. I feel like I've been able to express a lot of that. So
Mm,
that's kind of where I'm at, I think.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's interesting, this thing about connection. I mean, that's where I've ended up in life too, after some crazy experiences along the way. But it's such a wonderful place to arrive at, and it's funny because I was a bit nervous to like reach out to, I was like, she's not gonna want to do this show or whatever. And then it was one of those things where you like type the message and I'm rewriting it, I'm rereading it
Oh,
3 times, and then I'm like, fuck send. Oh no, no.
I can't send it.
And then
No, I'm so glad you
and
did.
then you just
That's good.
responded.
I'm
I knew
Yeah.
I knew right away when you responded. I was just like, this is like this is one of my people. It was just like it's amazing what the energy that can be transmitted. It's like I just instantly felt at ease. I could like feel your energy in just the words that you chose. And that was so cool. Um,
I feel like I'm blushing because you're so complimentary.
oh no,
Thank you.
no, thank God for makeup.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
I I also want to talk about like your connection, and then we're gonna get into Wrote a Thousand Tears, but because I pick up like this connection to the earth, like a lot of your videos is mud, is water, it's like like really rooted into the earth, almost like it brings to mind a little bit of like like Wicca witchcraft or something, like just like this connection to like earthing or the earth.
Yeah. I don't prescribe to anything super specific. I am just very spiritual and I believe in energy and everything has energy and the
Mm,
earth has the most of any of it. It's just the growth of plants and the beauty of it and just how it affects us all. And I just really feel like this tribal element that we can
mm,
all connect to. And the earth is just, and going out in nature is the one thing that kind of, and animals, especially animals, keep me going in life.
mm,
Hug a tree, as much as it sounds, go out in nature, listen to the sounds and the whispers. And there has to be spirits and energy out there in some way. So
mm,
that's really important to me. And so, yeah, it transcribes into my art and the beauty of it. It's unreal, the beauty that can happen in nature. And you just sit there sometimes and go, whoa, that's real, because it's something we'll never grasp. Like we make things as humans and we're like, oh, that's cool. Like we made it with tech and this and this and this. But yet then you go out there and you're like, how did that happen somehow in nature? Like, how are we even what we are?
yeah,
So
yeah. Yeah. um And well, let's kind of segue into Wrote a Thousand Tears, how this song came about, and a bit of the creative process behind it.
Um, so this song, Road of a Thousand Tears, I don't know if a lot of people noticed that the album Rot,
Yeah.
ROTT, stands for Road of a Thousand Tears in My Skin.
Mm,
Um, so this is my story. This is my tale. This is accumulation of everything I've been through and where I'm at now.
mm,
So that's the essence of the album, and this is the essence of the song. And also, I wanted to express more of my background, my heritage. I'm Puerto Rican. I was the first generation of our family born in the US. So I wanted to also sing in Spanish, which is the first time for me because I'm not completely fluent. So that was really special and important to me to add that element to it as well. And the song, I had like the lyrics, and I had actually started with the thought of Road of a Thousand Tears, Stung by a Thousand Needles, way back when I was in Berlin, and we used 1,000 Needles for the remix of it. And if you look, my last few, like In Shrouds, Resurrected in Black, Rot, their accumulation, they all follow something. So if you look, there's a trail that kind of there'll be like a song or a lyric or a visual that kind of goes through it all. And I had the lyrics in my head, the ideas and everything. And then I was working with Matthew Tucker, and he was playing drums for us. And he's like, yeah, let me show you some, stuff that I've done. And he played this song. He's like, oh, this is this older thing. And as soon as I heard it, I was like, stop this. Just send me that wave. He's like, it's really old. I don't even know if I have. It's like, just send it to me and I'm going to record to it. So that's what I did. And I was like, and it just felt so natural. And that was it. And then Reese came in there and really brought it to life, getting the element. I call it kind of like a carnival sound that we have into it, but it brings that element of dark but hope and light into it and really makes it like an anthem.
Yeah. And is it, I mean, are you in like thematically referencing like the Trail of Tears, like American Indian Trail of Tears, as a metaphor or directly? Oh.
I'm not, I guess, yes, directly, I guess, because that is something that a memory that has stuck with me forever. I remember being a kid, and I'm dyslexic, and I had to go to tutoring to learn to read and all these things. And one memory, you know how you just have spotty memories. One memory was this learning center I was at, and they had a map of the world and things painted on it. You could walk, and it was the Trail of Tears. And I'm looking at that, and I'm like, Mom, like, what is this? Like this Trail of Tears. And that's when I learned the story, and it forever stuck in my heart, forever. So yeah, that's just a huge impactful. And also, yeah, it references like our life, whether it's our journey, whether it's as rough as that. I mean, obviously that was extreme, but I do reference that for sure.
Yeah. And let's see, what was I gonna say? Oh, I was gonna ask if you could read the lyrics.
Oh, of course.
And the parts that are in Spanish, can you read them first in Spanish and then translate it?
Sure, of course.
Yeah.
Of course I can. I have it in my little notebook. I actually rewrote it last night so it would look nicer. Because usually lyrics and recording stuff is like papers thrown everywhere.
Right. Yeah. On a gum wrapper.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, I can read this scratched in and out. So I've never actually really read lyrics out loud. So let's see how it goes. I'm a little nervous. My steps carve out blood in the weight of my arms. Inner voice calls, left such a trail. Camino del mil lágrimas, herido por mil agujas. That means the road of 1,000 tears, stung by 1,000 needles. Perdido para siempre, perdido para siempre, means forever lost. To own my own truth, as I walk del mil lágrimas, with 1,000 tears. 1,000 tears, forever lost. 1,000 tears, forever lost. I collect what is death and gather what I have lost. El cuento es mío, en vida verde, en vida verde. The story is mine, in green envy, in green envy. ¿Por qué nací yo en lugar de ti? Why was I born me, not you? As I collapse in my skin, forever lost, forever lost. Perdido para siempre, forever lost. Camino de mil lágrimas, pedido por mil agujas. And that's it.
Thank you so much. That was so beautiful.
Oh, thanks.
I was, I was thinking about the English and the Spanish because thinking that you were referencing this idea of a trail of tears or this road of suffering and as a metaphor in life, and this, of course, this literal one. It's not because it seems it kind of threw me into the idea that in English you're talking about your life, and then when you go switch to the Spanish, you're kind of talking to the ancestors, like it like gets old and like kind of old and reverent for some reason,
That actually, it's not something, a lot of times I don't like literally think about like what I'm doing. I just let things happen. This has also been a new process for me of people asking about stuff, which I like because it causes me to go in depth, like, why did I do that? But that would be exactly right, because my mom is a medium, very spiritual, empathic, and she calls to our ancestors. She says that they're there, and my whole family, like, generations, except for me, my brothers are fluent in Spanish. And I've even gone to some of people and had some workings in Spanish. And even though I don't speak it fluently, I could connect and know what they were saying and meaning.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, I've got a crazy story like that. We'll have to talk, not on this show. But I'm a big believer in all that stuff too. I think I mean, there's something about your music too that I feel all that stuff. You know what I mean? Like it's all there without you actually spelling it out. You know what I mean? It's
I've always stuff since I was really young, and I never really showed anyone or anything like that, and didn't really realize that they could become song lyrics and stuff. But I also like the idea of them being a little more vague and not direct, because everyone has a story, everyone has experiences, and I think I speak of a lot of things that people can connect to, and so they'll take from it their own meaning, or what connects to them is also like what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, I mean, of course, I'm looking at the lyrics and thinking about my own life too. But it's
That's
very,
what I want.
they're very open-ended like that. Yeah. Um, yeah, I was also, it reminded me of like like it could be a song on a David Lynch film or something,
It's funny.
because
That's what Reese called it. He called it the Lynch song, which I was
oh, is
like,
that right?
because I always like the one scene in was Mulholland Drive where she's singing in the theater in Spanish, and then she just collapses, and then the song keeps playing. Like, that is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Like, I'm just like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
So that was definitely an influence inside of me as well. And also I wanted to, like, when we did the visuals for it, the idea was kind of to play on surrealism. Like, you don't really know what time period it is, what exactly is happening. It has kind of almost because we don't show me physically singing in it, so it has kind of a silent movie feel to it. And kind of like my reference, my version of that, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, I love that in your videos. You do that. I mean, I've seen that in quite a few videos where you don't lip sync and you're just kind of, yeah. I mean, it's interesting that you say that you have a ballet background, because it's almost like it doesn't look like a dance, but it is like it's intentional movement. You know what I mean? To what's going on. I mean, do you listen to the music while you're filming those video scenes and stuff, or is it just
Yes, for sure. I try, not always, but yeah, I try to, because I want to make sure like it's still kind of on with the BPM, the inspiration for it. Or it could be like, or sometimes like for Rot, we did a lot of it in silence, because for this song I worked with my she's kind of like she's my TM, my everything. She's done a lot of videos, Katrina Cat, and we filmed a lot of this stuff through different tours and different periods of time, before the song was even finished. But I knew the feeling and aura, like an element I wanted. So we had tons of footage to go through. And then the last thing that was just miraculous to me was there was a building here that they did a controlled burn for training and stuff. And I was like, that is exactly it. So we snuck in, did some drone footage, got some stuff. I even collected some to make more jewelry with. But that's the final capper of what we needed. So
Oh, cool.
I was like, climb the fence, you can do it.
And you your tour quite extensively, right?
I try to, yeah.
Yeah, because it seemed, we often put up dates and it's a long list of dates.
Yeah, we have a lot coming up now in October, November, and I'm really excited. A lot of good festivals. We're working on some more for the US. I'm going to be doing Grazone in the Netherlands. We're finally going back to Europe in May. So I personally really love to perform. That's my thing. That's what I really love. And I guess I don't know if to say like good at like the ruggedness of like traveling and touring and stuff. And I feel our music translates really well live. So I want to try to bring that to people as much as I can.
Yeah.
For as long.
Any chance we'll see you in Copenhagen?
It's possible. It's been a while since we've played there. But yeah, the May tour is getting set up right now, so it could possibly be. If you know anything cool or any promoters or anything we should do in Copenhagen, just let me know. I'll send it to the bookers and see.
I will. I know another another woman fronted band called Trollen here in Copenhagen. I also had her on this show, yeah, she's very well connected in Copenhagen.
Nice. That would be wonderful. Yeah.
I'll definitely work on that. And so how often are you putting out material? Do you have, this is how old is this album now? It's just a couple months old, right?
This one is it's a month now. Yeah.
A month now. Oh, okay. Oh, awesome. Okay. And do you focus on, when you release an album, do you focus on songs as singles and like cycle through a few singles, or what's your strategy on that? I'm always curious.
That's the problem. I don't really know. My strategies, I'm like, when it comes to like marketing and all that kind of stuff, I'm like, oh. But for this one we kind of went ahead and like released Slit Skin first so people could see that what's coming. We did Vast Murmur. We're about to release another video we've done for The Knife, and it will be with a remix as well. And then the next step we're going to be doing is we do have a remix LP with a lot of great people both from the US and Europe that are going to be on it as well for this.
Oh, awesome.
And then I don't know when the next piece will come. Not sure yet. It takes a while to write a full thing. I also do a lot of collaborations and sing on a lot of other things at the same time. So I have those sprinkled out through the years and stuff too.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank you for doing this today. I've really enjoyed it. I think we're at a half hour, which is what I promised you. So I don't want to take up more of your time, but thank you so much. I mean, I have the deepest respect for what you do. I'm just really looking forward to whatever it is you do next. And this song especially is like very special, Wrote a Thousand Tears. And thank you so much for being here today and telling us more about how you create.
Well, thank you for seeing people like us and giving us a platform to do this and wanting to know more. That's why we do this stuff.
Yeah. Well, and who's your little friend there? We didn't meet him actually.
It's little Millie. Little Millie. Millie is a 3-pound Chihuahua. She's a little runt rescue, and she's about 9 years old. And the sweetest thing. And then her sister, which you can't see because she's sleeping over here, is Jessica, who is a pit Rottweiler mix, and she's a rescue as well.
Oh, okay.
And they're the best friends. But yeah, I have fostered and rescued many, but these are our buddies right now. Millie's
Those are
just
the
a
two
chill.
keepers. Yeah.
Right now, these are our, yeah. And she's like not like every Chihuahua. She loves people, loves to party, loves to travel, super chill, doesn't like park. Like you can see, she's like, what? She's a special one.
She loves sitting there with mama, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, she's like good. And she's a ham, so she's like easy to photograph. The other one, she's very shy, and she's been slowly coming out of her shell because she was abused. But you know, if you put a camera on her, she's like, no camera. Yeah, I like incorporate animals in my videos too. Like in this video, we spent forever trying to run around and catch one of the chickens. I'm like, yes, why are you holding a chicken? I'm like, I don't know, but it's good. Get it.
Well, thank you so much. And yeah, well, I'll be following you on the social media and everything. And thanks again for doing this. I really appreciate it.
Goodbye.